A lot of people are very confused by my identity, and that's okay. You don't need to understand something in order to be respectful. I am a very queer, bisexual, non-binary trans woman. So my pronouns are she, her, and they, them. I was assigned male at birth, so the doctor looked at me when I was born and said, you need to raise this one as a boy. So I was raised as a boy, but that wasn't right. That didn't feel good ever. It was very traumatizing. So I came out as a trans woman in 2015 because I like to be very high femme. I'm very, very girly. I've affirmed my body by, medically transitioning to look more feminine because that's how I feel comfortable existing in the physical world. But internally, I feel so much more queer. My gender identity is so much more fluid, so much more vast, because I'm not just a woman. I'm so much more than that. I'm definitely 0% a man, but I'm not just a woman, if that makes any sense. And I love looking conventionally attractive as a woman. It makes me feel very affirmed and very euphoric, very happy. But what's interesting is growing up, I was told I was never man enough. I was always way too feminine. And that femininity within me has always been identified as queer, right? Like growing up, I was always clocked. It was so obvious that I was a little gay boy. My whole life, I was made fun of for how feminine I am. And so my femininity is very rooted in my queer identity because, being femme was always labeled as queer, as gay, as, like even in my drag life, like when I did drag, that's where my femininity comes from, is that history of myself. But now after coming out as a trans woman, my femininity is viewed as very cisgender and straight. I have cis-assuming privilege, which I understand is a privilege, for people not to always know that I'm trans just by looking at me. At the same time, it's difficult for me sometimes because I don't feel welcome in queer spaces and I am not read as queer. So I feel like my identity is being erased unintentionally. Because while I know my femininity is very rooted in my queerness, not everyone sees it that way because women are expected to be feminine. And because I'm a girl and I'm so feminine and I am typically more attracted to masculine presenting people, I am also read as straight. Whereas my whole life, my femininity has been viewed as very gay because I presented very masculinely. And so people assume masculine people that present femininely have to be attracted to men and are therefore gay. But gender and sexuality are very different. Both of mine just happen to be queer. But I'm not always read that way, so it feels really invalidating.